Welcome to Washington, D.C. This broadcast of MLS on Apple TV is presented by T-Mobile. Bit of a chilly night here in the nation's capital as we get set to kick off this 30th season of Major League Soccer. It's DC United and Toronto FC from Audi Field. The fans are filing in to this beautiful stadium, and so is DC forward Christian Benteke, the Golden Boot winner from a year ago in Major League Soccer. But for Toronto, Federico Bernardeschi trying to kickstart his Toronto FC career here in year number 4 with the club. The team's taking to the field now with the former MLS midfielder Jalil Anibaba. I'm Josh Eastern. Today's starting lineup's the first of 2025 for head coach Troy Lesesne. It's a 4-2-3-1 for DC.
Yeah, look at the top of the 4-2-3-1 and Christian Benteke, because everything is going to be funneled through him. The question is, how dominant does he remain in the air? And can Morel and Kojima and Firani play off of everything that goes to him? And of course, Inau and Sylvania are going to be tasked with protecting that back four, which they can do ever so well.
Toronto FC and first-year head coach Robin Fraser put out this starting 11, which features no Lorenzo Insigne.
Yeah, without Lorenzo Insigne, of course, what you're looking at is that right-hand side with the number 10, Federico Bernardeschi. Can he parlay off of what he did in 2024, having 8-8, getting himself onto the All-Star team, and they were very close to getting into the playoffs. But for me, what the name of the game is for Robin Fraser is making sure that the defense is solidified. So your leaders in Richie Larea and then Wingo, of course, are going to have to be excellent on the wide side, but Rosted and Kevin Long need to be excellent through the spine.
These are the players to watch, presented by RBC Wealth Management, proud partner of Major League Soccer. We start with DC and forward Christian Benteke.
There's nowhere else we're going to start. If you're the Golden Boot winner in 2024, we are going to be highlighting you as the player to watch, and definitely match day one, maybe even throughout the entire season. What Christian Benteke was able to do was to put the team on his back, but what he needs is help. So how effective are the likes of Kojima and Randall Leao when they come into the game to make sure that they're facilitating and also chipping in on the goal contribution, Josh?
For Toronto FC, it has to be the Italian midfielder Federico Bernardeschi.
Nobody else as well. With 8-8, like I said previously, he had a very good season in 2024, but it wasn't just about the goal contributions. For me, what I loved to see from him last season was the mentality, the tracking back. Sometimes he even played wing back and played it very, very well, and that permeated throughout the team. But again, he needs help as well. How much does Robin Fraser allow his ability to be successful in 2024 parlay that throughout the team?
Those were the players to watch, presented by RBC Wealth Management, proud partner of Major League Soccer. Getting you set for first kick tonight from Audi Field in DC. DC United, Toronto FC, next.
Refresh your energy with zero sugar. Essential vitamin.
What's up, insiders? How we doing this evening? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto FC season opener of their MLS campaign in 2025. We head to DC, Washington, D.C. to take on DC United. It's going to be a tough match given the struggles that TFC is going to have this season, but we appreciate you being here. Thank you. Please hit that like button down below. Let's bring more Toronto Football Club fans into this amazing chat and community here on TSI. Mary and I would like to welcome you all. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it for every single Toronto FC game live this season. We're going to have a lot of fun here building a community around TFC. I started with TFC as my number one back in like 2007 outside of the Leafs, so I shouldn't say number one. But I just wanted to say, go TFC, go! Can't wait to see a game from our season tickets in Section 222. We'll see you back in the chat. I want to see those chants going loud for TFC.
When you're with Amex Platinum, exclusive dining benefits and travel perks like room upgrades at fine hotels and resorts, wow, make going out for your favorite food take on a whole new meaning. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
What a game on the way tonight.
Stars on either side of the pitch. We're in for a good one.
Es impresionante cómo suena esta caja de música.
Some fireworks and more. Sigue.
MLS headliners about to go head to head.
La rivalidad entre estos dos equipos apenas inicia.
Don't you dare go anywhere.
Refresh your energy with zero sugar. Essential vitamins and proven ingredients. Celsius. Live fit.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you taking more time off or putting more time in. They could mean more peace and quiet or more fun and games. Ideas you can drive or that drive you. From settling in to living it up, what ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Welcome to Major League Soccer in 2024.
It's just a massive moment to have exceptional players playing in this country.
Ready?
This is soccer. This is the life. There's always someone better, faster, stronger. You just got to keep up.
What's up, boss?
1, 2, 3.
It is a chilly night here in Washington, D.C., but this MLS season just about to heat up as D.C. United and Toronto FC clash here at Audi Field. The stars on display, Christian Benteke and Federico Bernardeschi of Toronto. Our officiating crew tonight is led by Sergi Boyko. Joshua Encarnacion will be tonight's fourth official. And VAR also in effect. The VAR room is led tonight by Michael Radchuk. The MLS debut patch program is back for year 2, connecting fans with their favorite players like never before. These one-of-one trading cards feature a unique patch from players' MLS debuts, crafted with help from each club's equipment staff. After the match, the patch is preserved, autographed, and turned into an exclusive collectible. The 2025 MLS debut patch cards will be available later this year. And with that, we are set to go. Season number 30 of Major League Soccer is underway. It's DC United and Toronto FC. Two clubs that are enduring playoff droughts at the moment. A year ago for DC United in head coach Troy Lessane's first year, they had the right amount of points but didn't quite have the tiebreaker to make it into the playoffs, finishing in 10th spot. But just one place below them was Toronto FC as they look to come forward again here. Oh boy, there were appeals for penalty here early on, but play will reset at the back. I'm sure VAR Michael Radchuk will be taking a close look at that, but a fiery start here as DC United win it back. Here's the Golden Boot winner, Benteke for Priani. And out of play, they're wasting no time getting going, and the referee is going to hold play here for a moment to look back at the penalty shot on the other end.
Yeah, but I like this from Christian Benteke and Pirani. These are the two players that Troy Lessane is going to want us to be calling their names over and over and over. This is good link-up play here, and Pirani just gets it out of his feet and then has a strike with his left foot. That's exactly what I like. There's a possible pen here. At first look, I didn't see one, but it looked like it coming together there. Looked like Enau may have clipped the back of, I couldn't really see exactly who it was there, but I really like the energy on both sides of the line already, Josh.
Benteke, Pirani, the two players that had the most goals for DC United. There was obviously a gulf between the two of them, with Benteke leading the way with 23. But that is what Troy Lessane wants to see here in the early going for DC United. This is a lengthy look at this possible penalty.
Yeah, and Enau is going to be tasked to protect the back line. So he's going to be in situations like this here consistently, where he's in front of Bartlett, he's in front of Rose as well, to make sure that he's protecting them. This lengthy look is not something that you would want if you're a DC fan, because you would like the VAR to say that it's very, very quick. No, not a penalty here, but we're all waiting in the nation's capital with bated breath to see what the verdict is here, Josh.
No penalty, play on, says our referee, Sergei Boyko. And Toronto here will start from the back. As we were saying, it was DC that finished in 10th place last year. It was Toronto that finished one place below them. And now John Herdman out the door in November. It is Robin Fraser. He was hired just about 6 weeks ago. So this run up to the season has been frantic, to say the least, Jalil.
Yeah, but if you know anything about Robin Fraser, he's calm under pressure, cool, calm, and collected. And this is an organization, a market, a team that he knows very, very well. With all of his success when he was the assistant coach under Greg Vandy, now that he's at the helm, it's a matter of being able to get the roster exactly where he wants it and to continue on some of the good things that they were able to do as far as the team is concerned in 2024.
Trying to move this down the left, nothing doing. David Schnegg, the Austrian, making that run down the left. We'll throw in here deep in the defensive half for Toronto FC, and you can see some of that pressure higher up the field that DC United is going to try to deploy here. Pirani, some hard running here, and Sean Johnson has to slide in for safety. Johnson back in goal his third season with Toronto FC, an MLS Cup MVP with New York City FC back in 2021 when they beat Portland in the Pacific Northwest. Floated forward, commanding header in the middle, collected again. Pirani picking up some good spots here early on for DC. Out of play and a quick throw in. Aaron Herrera to get it back in for DC.
Aaron Herrera this season, Josh, is going to be crucial for Troy Lessane, because of course we all know that he can get forward and provide assists on the attacking side and also just pressure in terms of combination getting forward. But what he's going to need to do is to make sure that the back line stays very, very stout, and making sure that if they have three defenders in that back line, only one of them is going forward. Too often in 2024, what would happen is both of the outside backs would be charging forward, leaving the center backs left hanging out to dry.
Good quick passing through the middle, but physical through the middle as Coelho, as he wins it back. Now Davy Flores looking for the quick switch of play. Richie Larea making the run down the right for Toronto. Schnegg there defensively, and he prevents a corner kick.
Yeah, Schnegg does what he can there, but Davy Flores unleashes a valve that's very well done from the Honduran.
Trying to get it out to that far side again. It's Larea. Correa steps on it, showing some patience. Now again, more progression, the underlapping run there by Correa. He goes down right on the edge of the area. No decision from the referee. It's a goal kick.
Yeah, I like you can tell the experience that Sergio Boyko has. He's making sure that he's, of course, policing this game so it doesn't get out of hand very early, but he understands what Richie Larrea is trying to do. Richie Larrea is just trying to get himself in between ball and man, taking any pressure that he can and then going down easy. Kojima does a very good job to not charge through the back of the Canadian international. All round, very well done from the players and the referee there.
That was Jose Kojima, who is a versatile player, played more in a central role in his college soccer days at Wake Forest, last year with St. Louis, now coming here to DC. He can play all over the field. St. Louis tried to put him in at right back last year.
Yeah, very versatile player, but he's playing in his natural position, which is through the midfield and in an attacking spot for Troy Lesesne. When talking to people throughout the DC United organization, they said bar none, he had the best preseason out of anybody on the roster. That's exactly what you need out of a newcomer that's going to have to carry a heavy load with Click going out the door to Atlanta. And also, too, you want a player to be able to facilitate and link up with Pirani and Christian Benteke more often than not, because that was a huge void that they didn't have in 2024.
And 13 new players overall for DC United this year. You mentioned Click going out the door. He's in Atlanta now, so they're going to need to find some ways to connect up top with Christian Benteke, who had 23 goals in the regular season, 9 headed goals as well. It's all about service to the big man.
It really is, and also I would like them to be multifaceted as well. Not necessarily always looking for getting up and down the outsides and then lofting balls into the midfield or into the air. Can they combine as well to keep defenses guessing?
Now picks it off and striding forward. Sending out E-Field into raptures. First goal of 2025.
Oh yeah, Josh, this is exactly what you want if you're Troy Lesesne and everybody that wears that black and red in the nation's capital, or if you got your shirt off like my homie right there. This is excellent stuff, simply because DC United has stayed on the front foot as soon as this game has started. Enau was brought in the summer to make sure that he primarily protects the back line, but when he's in advanced positions to do things just like this is a combination play that we're talking about. A little bit of a break and play, but watch what Enau does. He sniffs it out, and then he takes what the defense gives him. Okay, you're going to go to Pirani? I'll take it myself. This is excellent stuff. There is no time other than now. It is absolutely right now for Enau. Very well won. We're very well welcomed in a perfect way to not only open his campaign with DC, but his account as well. First goal of the career for DC United and Enau, and hopefully for Troy Lesesne, he continues on, and he's throwing it up to the most high continuously throughout 2025.
As you said, first goal of his MLS career in just his second season, his 9th appearance overall with DC United. Boris Enau, now an MLS goal scorer. And here he is on the ball again, moving it out wide for Herrera. DC starting on the front foot tonight. Low cross denied by Flores. And that's thumped out of play. Well, now if you're Toronto FC, how do you calm things down? They've been under a lot of pressure here to start.
Yeah, you have to connect more passes, because what DC United is doing a very good job of is they're pushing numbers high up the field, taking advantage of the home field advantage and the crowd behind their back, picking the balls up higher up the field, and then creating goal-scoring opportunities like so.
Chipped in field, Pirani to the end line. Johnson was there. It's out of play, and it's a corner kick on the way for DC United.
Yeah, very well done again from Pirani. Again, if you're Troy Lesesne, you're going to want us to continue to say his name. It's good stuff there. Good timing between Kojima and Pirani to make sure that he tiptoes that line, stays onside, and then manufactures a corner kick for his side. And of course, everybody in the stadium knows where this ball is going to go. Can Toronto stop it?
9 headed goals last year for Christian Benteke, the most in Major League Soccer since 2018. Pirani delivers, and that's not good enough. Couldn't get it by the first man. Enau collects at midfield. Toronto FC a year ago tied for the 4th least amount of goals scored with 40. They had 61 conceded goals, only 8 clean sheets. There's no doubt defense is something that Robin Fraser has talked about and will be tasked with as the flag is up for offside. and he talked about it, that this team needs to buy in defensively, and as Troy Lesesne has talked about to us, he says we can get after this Toronto team. They already have.
Yeah, but truthfully, defense is the task to improve for both sides. Both sides let in way too many goals, and they were not stingy enough to get themselves into the playoffs. It came down to decision day for Troy Lesesne's side, and then for Toronto, they actually didn't have a game on decision day, but they both were giving up too many goals. So again, that's what I'm going to be looking at throughout the course of the season for both sides. How stingy are they on the defensive end? Now with Robin Fraser already giving up their first goal in 2025, what they need to get themselves back into the game is to slow the pace down, take the sting out of the game, get their captain in Osorio and Bernadeschi and Davy Flores, Queju on the ball a little bit more to make DC United push themselves back on their heels a little bit more, because they've been on the front foot since minute one.
Robin Fraser talked about the more that we can defend and defend well, that will create more opportunities going forward. So it goes hand in hand. Some complementary soccer is what Robin Fraser wants to instill here in Toronto. Fight for it in the middle. Going to ground. Rosted to win it back for TFC. Turn it all the way back to Sean Johnson. Here's a rookie, and that's a clean touch there by the rookie Marcus Zimmermancic, making his MLS debut here today. The homegrown player who Robin Fraser pointed out was one of the dark horses of preseason. Said he didn't know almost anything about the kid coming in. Now he knows a whole lot about him. He's in his match day 1 starting lineup.
Yeah, I asked him straight up. I said, which player surprised you the most and stood out in preseason? And it was Marcus Zimmermancic. What you always love to see is a young player rising up to the challenge here. And he's announced as a homegrown signing just yesterday, I believe, and that is jet fuel for a young player as well here. And when you speak to players and people throughout the organization, there's very high praise in terms of how studious he is and how ready he is for the moment.
Zimmermancic joined the academy back in 2015, and there's so many players on this TFC side that have come through the academy that are now starting to break into this first team on the bench. Kobe Franklin, Kosi Thompson, just to name a few. So these players have come up together. Now they're breaking through together.
Exactly, and that continuity between academy players is something that TFC relies on here. But Kojima's out here balling.
Kojima, Pirani couldn't get there. Zimmermancic to step in and win it back for Toronto. Osorio, the wily veteran for this TFC side, as it's moved out wide. Theo Corbianu striding forward, just coming in on loan from Spain. Corbianu trying his luck from right at the top of the area. Now to play the Canadian international, trying to open his account for Toronto.
Yeah, and Bernadeschi and Richie Larea are very frustrated because Richie Larea was open at the top of our screen here, but it wasn't shown, I don't believe.
Robin Fraser, his first year in charge as head coach for Toronto. He was an assistant back in 2015 and 2019 under Greg Vanney. Some good years for Toronto FC, making a few appearances in MLS Cup and winning one as well. He says he wants to bring that team environment back here to Toronto, and he says it all kind of starts tonight, but this is going to be a growth process, no doubt about it, for this Toronto side.
And one of the things that Robin Fraser told us as well is that oftentimes this team is being compared to that time when he was here, when they had ample success, and he doesn't really want the team to have to live under that pressure. What he wants from his team is to be able to write their own history, and that's been the message from him throughout preseason and going into match day 1. To write a good history in match day 1 for his side, they're going to need to be very resilient, and they're going to have to show their character to get themselves back into this game.
Fraser said there's been a lot of negative things said about Toronto FC in terms of predictions, but to be fair, it's warranted. 4 straight seasons with 18 or more losses, the longest streak of 18 or more losses in MLS history. But he says we can change the narrative, and we have to do it ourselves.
They're going to have to do it themselves, and they obviously have the player personnel to do it. They have the talent and the player profiles to do it. But what they need to do is to put together a complete season.
Morrell trying to go right through the middle. He'll get it back for DC, and they'll start down the left. Another debut tonight. Kai Rolls, the Australian international, part of that Australia side at the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Kojima. Maybe his first missed touch of this opening 15 minutes here at Audi Field. Chilly night, temperature right around 30. You said you like playing in the cold though, huh?
I mean, if I have all the gear, maybe. But, man, you know, I got African genes in my blood, man. If I could play in the summer weather all day, every day, I would. But the one thing that I always liked about the beginning of the season, though, Josh, is everything that you put into preseason is hard work, and you earn the right to either start or be part of the matchday squad in matchday 1. And there's a lot of angst, there's a lot of anxiety, but more so excitement to get down on the pitch. And the team that is showing their ability to translate that excitement into a good performance early on is DC so far.
Another ball, one back in the middle. Kachima leading the break. Kachima goes down, free kick DC. And a yellow card is coming out as well. And no doubt about this one. Sergi Boyko to his pocket. The end of the book is Kevin Long.
That's exactly what you don't want if you're Robin Fraser. When you're already down 1-0, to have your leader in the center of your defense to suffer a yellow card. This is why Kojima is so important for DC. Picking up the ball high, Brandon Cervania does an excellent job here. He's peeking around to see what his options are, just skirts it to the right-hand side, and then draws that foul. It's a yellow card because Long is breaking up a potential goal-scoring opportunity and a break there. Because Morel was open on that right-hand side. Kojima was probably going to slip it in there. Very well done for Troy Saint's side to keep their foot on the gas after scoring that first goal early in the game, Josh.
Aaron Herrera stands over it. Sean Johnson trying to organize. This is the loud part of this stadium with the supporter section right behind Sean Johnson. So he's really having to use those vocal cords to get a hold of everybody. Touched into play. Herrera shoots! Saved! Sean Johnson able to keep that one out. It runs out of play, a throw-in, but Johnson had to be alert.
Oh yeah, 18 minutes into this game, the black and red, they understand what the task is, and that is to make sure that you take all of the good things that you were able to get out of your team in preseason. A lot of that is energy, a lot of that is getting players.
And a giveaway, Kim way off his line. Here's Bernardeschi as Toronto streaming forward. Federico Bernardeschi, just wide. The first touch of the game for debutant Kim Jun-hong in goal. That one could have proved costly, but just out of play.
Yeah, as much as we were just praising DC, they give up, you know, very errant pass, which is uncharacteristic from Bartlett, and then Kim, he just bobbles that one. Is fortunate to see it go on the other side of the post there.
And that is something, going back to last year, trying to shore up the goalkeeper position. DC allowed the third most goals over expected, according to FBref, in Major League Soccer last year. They've got to clean that up. They bring in a young South Korean goalkeeper, Kim Jun-hong. Got fourth place at the 2023 Under-20 World Cup with South Korea. And now being tasked with a day one start here for DC and having to defend a corner kick. It's an in-swinging ball. Didn't get it by the first man. Herrera trying to chase after it now. Not deflect off of Bernardeschi. And it's a throw it back to DC. The player spotlight is presented by Allstate. You are in good hands, and DC thinks they're going to be in good hands this year with Kim in goal.
With Kim in goal, that, you know, who is going to be in between the sticks is a question answered. And what they get with Kim is the ability to play out the back a little bit more. His feet are clean. A goalkeeper that is very confident being in with the South Korean national team. Hasn't made his full team debut yet, but he's been called into the squad. What he also does very well is he's an excellent shot stopper there. Hopefully we're not saying broadcaster's curse, because that first touch looked a little bit shaky for him. If you're a DC United fan, make sure you pay attention to how he progresses throughout the year, because if he plays to the level of which the DC organization thinks he can be very, very promising between the sticks.
And Kim, the first U22 Initiatives goalkeeper signing in Major League Soccer as well. So DC United breaking some ground with Kim in goal. Now here comes DC. They're finding space moving forward with Herrera. Cuts it infield on Flores. Cuts it back outfield on Flores. Now Merle. Herrera going on the overlap. Merle sends it into the box. A header away. And Toronto will get this out. Crafty little flick there, and here comes Toronto. This game back and forth. Larea leading the charge. Toronto trying to get something started. Big deflection there towards the end line, shoulder to shoulder. Makes the decision, and to throw into Toronto deep in that corner.
Oh, wow. I was surprised it wasn't a foul for Brandon Cerveña. But this is exactly what I was talking about earlier on here. When Herrera is charging up the field, Richie Larea understands that Schnegg is high too, and then he takes off. If you have a situation where Herrera is bombing forward on the right-hand side, Schnegg needs to stay home so he doesn't leave the two center backs exposed.
Pirani trying to shake free of Coelho in the middle. And a turnover. Davy Flores looking to go upfield quickly. Again, Larea trying to connect it infield. Pirani so slippery through the middle. Pirani goes down. The whistle comes. Free kick, DC.
Yeah. Boyko was waiting to see if advantage was going to be given there. Pirani does an excellent job to wiggle free. This is exactly what Troy Lesesne wants out of him, to be able to get on the ball, get on the half turn, wiggle free, create possession higher up the field, and then henceforth be in situations where he can manufacture goals or score him himself higher up the field. Very well done from the Brazilian.
There were 2 players with 6 or more goals last year for DC. Obviously, Christian Benteke, he was the other one with 6, but only 1 player with 10+ goal contributions, that obviously being Christian Benteke, and that's sort of the task this year, getting a player like Pirani on the ball a little bit more, creating more, and connecting with Benteke up top.
Yeah, Josh, Pirani was excellent toward the end of the season, where DC United was pushing to try to, knock on the door and then get themselves into the playoffs, and he was literally the best player on the team behind Christian Benteke. So if he's able to take that late success in 2024 and parlay that into 2025, you're looking at a very good offensive prospect. And then, of course, Stroud unavailable today, but he was a bright performer in 2024 as well. When he comes back, can he help in Christian Benteke and Pirani, Kijima, Randall Leal as well, when he comes in off the bench potentially later in this game to help with the goal contributions?
There's no better way to follow MLS this season than MLS 360. MLS 360 has you covered with every goal, every storyline from every game. Join Kevin Egan, Kalen Kyle, Bradley Wright Phillips, Sasha Kleshin, and Dax McCarty live right now so you don't miss a moment from opening weekend. Plenty of games going on across Major League Soccer at this 7:30 Eastern time window, and much more going on throughout the night and into tomorrow as well.
Absolutely, Josh. Like I always say, make sure you are tapping in with the 360 homies. They'll get you right with everything you need to know and see throughout the league. And I want to give a warm Apple TV welcome to my dear brother Dax McCarty, joining the crew and the Apple TV family.
Here's Osorio, a touch out of play. DC trying to go quickly. Herrera, he'll slow things down. An early goal from Boris Enow, maybe an unlikely goal scorer. His first MLS goal coming tonight. It kind of gets the monkey off your back if you're DC United. That first goal, Robin Fraser talked about everybody wants to get that first win, but now they're chasing this game all of a sudden.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you have to give Troy Lesesne and his team a lot of credit for how they started the game. Now what I'm looking at for them, can they manage it a little bit? Because in the last 5 minutes, DC has looked a little bit shaky, a few errant passes in areas of the field where you can't afford them. Pirani's going to be offside here. But I like that, though. But for me, what Toronto, of course, needs to do, as DC has very much started the game off very well and controlled the game, is to make sure that they're getting Osorio into the game. We haven't been able to call him yet. And if you're able to do that, you're able to get more possession higher up the field, allow your outside backs to advance forward when it makes sense for them to, and that's how you can play yourself into this game.
DC has had Toronto's number here at Audi Field, unbeaten in 8 at home against Toronto. Last year was a 2-2 draw between DC and Toronto here at Audi Field. Now the cross fired in, back post. Simermancic was coming forward. Corbianu was also right there, and the rookie getting an earful there from his fellow Canadian.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is going to be miscommunication at the bottom of your screen, but at the top of your screen, what you're seeing is good combination between Richard Larea and Bernadeschi. That's what they need a little bit more of, to be able to have controlled possession in the attacking third, to allow their wingbacks and Richie Larea and the rookie Insurmencic on the near-hand side to be able to get into the play when it's not just counter-attacking football.
This is a Toronto attack that isn't quite at full strength here tonight. They just signed the Norwegian Ola Brynhildsen, who was on loan. That's another whistle here, but he's the new number 9. He's going to fill that spot up top. So right now, it's a bit of a makeshift, but Corbiano, he's going to be a big part of this attack this year for Toronto.
Yeah, you have Corbiano, you have Ola, and when we spoke to Robin Fraser, one of the things that he was very excited about is how Ola's going to be able to help this team on the offensive side. That's the prospect, of course. You always have to see how players acclimate themselves to MLS and get themselves into a season very, very quickly when they necessarily didn't have an entire preseason and a runway to be able to do so.
Corbiano lays it off. Coelho swings it around to the right. Chance to cut this infield. And now lifted back into the middle. The header away. Flores trying to put it back into the mixer. Chased down, and Toronto can keep it. Give and go. Coelho distributing from his central midfield role. Ball stays on the deck. Corbiano trying to progress past Bartlett. Bartlett turns him back outfield. Kojima touches it out. Toronto, this is a little bit better now from TFC.
Definitely better from them, having sustained possession in their attacking third.
Coelho sliding this in behind, trying to break this back line. Kim went for it. It's an open goal, and Osorio scores. The answer Toronto was looking for. 1-1 in DC.
And I said it, Josh, you need to get this man involved here. Osorio, Jonathan Osorio, in his 13th season with TFC. There is nobody who loves the crest more than Jonathan Osorio when you're talking about TFC. But look at what he does here. He's just floating in and around the play to keep himself alive. As soon as the play looks like it's going to develop, he jets forward and then makes sure that he's first to it. But what I like from Wingle, he takes a little peek, puts it in a dangerous area. This is also not good defending and very much confusion that didn't need to happen for DC here. Kim gets it wrong, and then Herrera's put in a really tough spot. The clearance isn't right, but you have to give credit for Osorio for being very advantageous, making sure he's in the right spot. He says, that's the first of the season, 49th on the career for me.
Osorio's been with Toronto since 2013. Not a huge goal scorer. He scored double-digit goals one time. That was in 2018 in all competitions, where he scored 17, 10 in the MLS regular season. But just 3 last year. But we were talking to Robin Fraser about Jonathan Osorio, what he means to this team. And he said, I think he moves just like he does when he's 23, but he's so much smarter now. That veteran presence, that leadership that Toronto desperately needs right now.
Absolutely. When you speak of the history of TFC, it is impossible to leave out Jonathan Osorio. He's been around for both MLS Cup appearances, won one, lost one, won a multitude of Canadian championships as well. This is a player who lives and breathes TFC football, and when you need a moment that is very difficult to find, Jonathan Osorio can deliver it for you. You said he's not that much of a goal scorer, but I would beg to differ, because he is one of 16 active MLS players that has over 100 goal contributions. Now making it 101 here. I love what he's able to do, because through the run of play, he's normally silky smooth and is that connector, but when he needs to score goals, he can do it as well.
No double-digit goal scorer in the regular season last year for Toronto. Maybe he can be the guy, or maybe he can be this guy. Bernardeschi to the end line, touched away. That's another corner kick for Toronto.
And I have to say, this is reminiscent of performances from DC last year. They would show flashes of being excellent for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then things just would look very disjointed on the defensive side. Errant passes have led Toronto to be able to get themselves back into this match.
Bernardeschi set to deliver. Now, a player down in the area is the goal scorer, Osorio. Sergi Boyko just holding play here for a moment.
Maybe funny bone or something like that. Hopefully he's okay, but he's kind of pointing to that area where maybe he just got tapped on that funny bone, and that hurts a lot. But again, when you talk about the competitive spirit of TFC for so many years, it's been Jonathan Osorio. Looks like for me, he'll just rub some dirt on it and he'll be all right, because I've seen him do it for over a decade in this league. And keep an eye out on how he's able to continue to be a game changer throughout this match. And of course, Bernardeschi has started to heat up as well. If you're Troy Lesesne on your side, you're going to make sure that you're telling your defense to just get numbers behind the ball and make sure that TFC does not continue on their ascendancy, because in the last 15 minutes, they've looked very good, Josh.
Still a conversation ongoing. Merle, Osorio, fighting for every blade of grass.
Yep, that's how it goes on set pieces.
Bernardeschi, better service this time as it comes towards the penalty spot, headed away. Cut back, Larea. Larea again, sliding it infield. Zimmermancic puts it in front. Big clearance away, out for a Toronto throw-in.
It's good for Zimmermancic just to put it in a dangerous area. That's exactly what Wingo did on the other side to manufacture the goal. And then Zimmermancic understands the ability to just make sure he gets on a very good pass from Richie Larea and then put it in a dangerous area, force DC United to defend.
Long on that yellow card he picked up just a little bit earlier. Wingo moves it out wide. Bernardeschi making a few guys miss, but couldn't make Kajima miss. Kajima moves it ahead. Pirani. Now Toronto streaming forward again. It's cut in field, looking for options. It was behind Zimmermancic, behind Osorio. Corbiano asking for apologies. The player comparison is presented by Celsius, pure passion and maximum energy with zero sugar. Schnegg, Osorio, they're covering a lot of ground tonight.
Absolutely, and that's what you'd expect. These are two willing runners. Jonathan Osorio is the player in white that is willing to do anything for his team. If he needs to run a lot, he's able and fit to do that. If he needs to get on the ball and dominate the touches, he's able to do that. And if he needs to hit the back of the net, he'll do it as well. Schnegg gets up and down the line very effortlessly, but I want to see him stay home more, because that left-hand side has been a void for Troy Lesesne's defense in the last 20 minutes of this match, which have really turned the tides of the momentum.
Now a chance to slow things down. Cervania, a touch in the middle, playing against his former club tonight. Missed a lot of last year because of injury, but it's always fun. Game number 1 of 2025, and you're playing against your old team.
Yeah, a lot to prove for number 23. Bernard Cervania is a player who has a lot of experience in this league. You know, he's played for a multitude of clubs now, but he is very excited about the opportunity to not only start on match day 1, but to get a fresh start under Troy Lesesne. What I love about him is he has the ability to protect the back line. He's very clean in possession, but what, if for me, the defense needs to do is set him up where he doesn't have to run so much where he's gassed late on in the game, because if he has energy in his tank left in the second half, he can really be a game changer as well.
He now shakes free of Davy Flores. Rolls and Bartlett, the center back duo tonight for DC. Trying to take the top off here. Merle running in behind. Here's Merle ready to cross. Benteke! With goal number 1 in game number 1.
Josh, when you need a moment, where do you go? When you need a goal in DC, where do you go? You go to Christian Benteke. Merle understands it. This is very good play. Route 1 over the top. All you need to do is make sure you have the time and space to deliver. That little degree of separation where Merle just picks up his head. Excellent. Floats it up. Christian Benteke does the rest. Oh, 23 goals last year. No problem. I can pick up right where I left off. This is excellent stuff. The reason why I love it so much is because of separation. Boom! Hits the back of the net. Sean Johnson can't do anything about it. You got to give a lot of credit to Christian Benteke because he stayed calm in this game and has waited for his moment and says, yes, I can do it not only in 2024, but I can prove to you that I can do it in 2025. Nation's capital is heating up in just the 36th minute.
Troy Lesane talked about how do we get the ball to Christian Benteke this year. Jacob Merle coming down the right. All the momentum was back on the other end. And as you said, just that one moment, and Benteke is back amongst the goals.
And what I really love about Merle taking advantage of his opportunity, rewarding the manager for his confidence. With Stroud out, now you have a little bit of a competition here. Merle saying, hey, I'm trying to compete for a starting spot as well. That's how you improve your stead with a manager. That's how you work your way up the depth chart. Very well done from Merle. This game, in terms of the plot, has gotten really, really thick. And now both teams are going to open up a little bit more in this last 10 minutes here in this first half.
History will be made tomorrow night when the inaugural edition of Sunday Night Soccer sees expansion club San Diego take to the pitch for the very first time, visiting reigning MLS champions LA Galaxy. Can Mexican superstar Chucky Lozano in San Diego deliver a monumental upset against the most decorated MLS team of all time? We'll find out on Sunday Night Soccer with their coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern on Apple TV+. Merle down the line, Pirani was off balance, just trying to touch it in field. Enow with that pressure, and that has paid off a couple of times, and it wins DC a corner kick.
Yeah, Enow has been excellent in the first 37 minutes of this game, making sure that he's pressing on the initial plays, and his repress is very good. He understands and has the ability to sniff out plays when he should step forward, pick them off, and then create a secondary goal-scoring opportunity. Very well done. Look out for this corner kick. Again, everybody in the stadium knows exactly where it's going to go.
Pirani to deliver, stands it up. Johnson is there to claim. Going back to Christian Benteke for a moment, he won 200 more aerial duels than the next closest player last year. 310 aerial duels.
It's wild.
So as we talk about different ways that DC wants to play, it could be pretty simple. Just find Benteke, good things are going to happen.
Good things will happen. But again, they need to be multifaceted. That's why the goal and the type of goal that Enow scored will be very crucial. They'll watch the film over and over to try to replicate those moments. It came off of very good repress, and that's something that they're going to be able to need to do. They can't just rely on Christian Benteke's ability to score goals.
Now Toronto looking for another answer. The cross comes in. Service denied for Bernardeschi here on the near side now. Here is Bernardeschi. Slides it infield. Simermancic, the cutback ball. It's run through. Chance to shoot. Big deflection in front. Corbianu denied. Corner kick Toronto.
You see, Josh, this is better from Toronto in terms of having the ability to play intricate passes in and around the 18-yard box, but even better defending for DC. This is what I want to see for DC. You have Bartlett, you have Rawls, you have your outside backs as well in good positions to be able to make blocks. That's what cohesive defensive ability looks like.
Bernardeschi again to the back post, headed away before it got there. There was Rolls up for it. An important player coming in from Hearts in Scotland, Kai Rolls, the Australian. Coelho now standing over it. Another corner kick for Toronto. This one whipped into the top of the 6, headed away. It'd be a third successive corner kick here for TFC. Bernardeschi delivers again. Kim comes to claim. He wants to distribute quick. Benteke touches it ahead. He was right at his feet. He had to play it. Now Osorio for Bernardeschi. Toronto right back into the attack. Bernardeschi to the end line. The cutback ball right in front. Kim denies. And DC looking for a way out now. Pirani closed down by Flores. Goes to ground. It's dumped upfield for Benteke to chase after. Long is there and able to reset and catch our breath here with Sean Johnson at the back. What a game this has been. 40 minutes in. That's all you could ask for.
Yeah, high octane, a lot of goal scoring opportunities. You know, some coming from broken play, but good repress from both sides of the line. It's been exciting stuff.
Flipped in fields. Shoulder to shoulder. Flores and Pirani. They're coming together in the middle. Referee's letting them play tonight.
Yeah, and I like that from Boyko. He's managing this game out. It's nowhere near getting out of control, but he's allowing the competitive spirit to naturally come into this game, and that's what you get again from an experienced referee who understands what's at stake. What this game reminds me of is a lot of match day one games that I've been a part of. It's not quite a complete product. It's not very crisp on both sides as far as ball movement. There's some errant passes, but the competitive spirit and the energy on both sides is there. That's what both of the managers are going to be saying, okay, that's a check box. At least everybody is up for the task.
This exclusive Netcam replay is brought to you by T-Mobile. How about Sean Johnson at full stretch?
Yeah, this is vintage Sean Johnson here, making sure that he's parrying this ball in a way where his defenders can get on that secondary opportunity and just clear the lines. When you talk about a leader, when you talk about somebody who understands what it is to be an ultimate professional on and off the field, you're talking about Sean Johnson.
Osorio, bump from behind, free kick Toronto. The conversation with the referee.
Yeah, it's just two former teammates in Brandon Serenia and Jonathan Osorio just saying, what's up, man? I miss you. I miss you in Toronto. That's what, you know, the challenges look like on the other side of the line. So look for the midfield matchup to continue to stay competitive. As this game kind of lulls off a little bit, what typically comes into fruition is the ability to be able to dominate a defense. So what to be able to dominate a midfield. So whichever team becomes more poised throughout the midfield, to be able to connect more passes, to break the other team's press, will typically have more chances as fatigue plays into the second half.
Final few minutes of this first half. Here's Flores. He's controlling things here at the moment for Toronto. Good fight for it in the middle. And it's Kajima now for DC. Kajima progressing, but couldn't get by Henry Wingo.
Yeah, it's good team defending there from Wingo and Larea.
Bernardeschi saved. Kim protecting that near post.
As this first half has gone on here, Kim has looked more and more comfortable. This is vintage Bernardeschi, where he's able to get wide on that right-hand side, top of your screen, and then, of course, he's looking to get in and around the top of the box so he can get where it's very difficult to make a block if he goes far post, and then he also has the momentum against you to be able to cut back against the grain there. He elects to go against the grain, but like I said, Kim is looking more and more comfortable as this game is developed.
Kim sends it long. Flores again up to meet it. for Benteke. Able to win that against Long, but to no one in particular. Entering 5 minutes of stoppage time to close out this first half. But there was that lengthy VAR look. There was no really review, or at least on-field review. And then 3 goals in this first half. We've had a little bit of everything in these first 45 minutes of the 30th season of Major League Soccer here in DC. 2 former MLS champions going up against each other, but both enduring long playoff droughts. DC, no playoff appearances since 2019. Toronto, they last made it in 2020. Long over the top, Kajima not able to get on the end of it. These are the team benches built by the Home Depot. For Troy Lesesne, plenty of options on the bench tonight for DC. Randall Leal, Dominic Badji, a couple of attacking options I know you're pretty fond of.
Absolutely, and they're going to need to have good years to help out Christian Benteke.
Quick passing here, going to ground, and winning that challenge was Wingo. And now a whistle to end the threat for DC. That was a do-or-die challenge there for Henry Wingo.
Yeah, I love that there from Wingo. That's exactly what he's there for, to make sure that if they're able to slip balls on the right-hand side of Long, he's able to make that tackle and to protect his fellow center back there. Look, you can see that Christian Benteke just comes off the line, and then the back 3 is a little bit vulnerable, but Wingo steps up and says, absolutely not. You're going to have more intricate play to get through my side.
Wingo back in Major League Soccer after a spell in Europe with Molde and Ferencváros in Hungary. Started his career with the Seattle Sounders. Federico Bernardeschi and Toronto continue the start to the season next Saturday when they head down to Florida and take on Marco Pasalic and Orlando City. That match starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern right here on MLS Season Pass. A few road games to start the year for Toronto, not really escaping the cold here in DC. They'll escape the, I think, bitter cold, the snow up north.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about Wingo and how he's been very happy to come back into MLS. When I was with the Sounders in 2014, he was coming through the academy and had a lot of promise. So I've kind of just been tracking his career. When he signed with Toronto, I was very happy to see him back into the league. And when we spoke with Robin Frazier this week, he said that he is bar none the most effective communicator in the group. And you need players like that are very vocal, but they give the right information. That helps your back line be so much more efficient than it would be otherwise. And that, again, is going to be a key focal point for Robin Frazier. How effective can their defensive unit be throughout the year?
And Wingo has experience playing in European continental competition, Champions League, and Europa League across the pond as well. The final 90 seconds of this first 45 minutes of the season. Let's start with DC. You're Troy Lesesne. You have a couple of goals. You concede a bit of a soft one on the other end. What's going through his head right now?
You'll be happy about the scoreline. You won't be completely satisfied with the way in which it's played out. Yes, DC has done an excellent job as far as energy is concerned early in the game to get on the score sheet early. But what they didn't do well is that they weren't very responsible with how they were managing the game after they went up. Toronto got themselves back in the game. And now what Troy Lesesne is going to be saying is to make sure that through the build-up, they're more responsible and they don't throw too many numbers forward when one of the outside backs is attacking. The other needs to stay home.
For Sean Johnson, just gets rid of it. this point, content to head into the break. This has been an up and down first half. It's DC that still have that 2-1 advantage. There is the whistle, the first 45 minutes of the season in the books, and none other than Christian Benteke on the board.
Yeah, Christian Benteke and E now did exactly what they needed to do in the first half, and that was to hit the back of the net. They're up going into the locker room, but what DC United needs is a more complete half in the second half to make sure that they get all 3 points, because Toronto showed promise when DC allowed them to get back into the game.
We have reached the break here from Audi Field in Washington, D.C. An entertaining one. DC United 2, Toronto FC 1. Stay tuned for halftime coming up next.
Okay, you got us.
I'm thinking of buying a house.
A house? By yourself? Are you sure? I don't know anyone that owns a house.
Yeah, girl. I mean, it's a big commitment.
Hey, if you can make it work. I got this.
Milo's Rewards is here. Join for free today to unlock member perks from the palm of your hand. With every purchase, all members earn points towards Milo's money. Get free gifts to bring home, member deals to get more projects done, and free standard shipping. Start earning for free with Milo's Rewards today.
Stop it! Can we stop for food?
No, hay comida en la casa.
Jameson, a famously smooth whiskey from a famously big family. So big that Jose here could be one of us. You see, he's nearly as smooth as our whiskey. For him, wrong turns usually turn out all right. Even when he shows up uninvited, he's
What's up, insiders? How we doing this evening? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto FC season opener of their MLS campaign in 2025. We head to DC, Washington, D.C. to take on DC United. It's going to be a tough match given the struggles that TFC is going to have this season, but we appreciate you being here. Thank you. Please hit that like button down below. Let's bring more Toronto Football Club fans into this amazing chat and community here on TSI. Mary and I would like to welcome you all. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it for every single Toronto FC game live this season. We're going to have a lot of fun here building a community around TFC. I started with TFC as my number one back in like 2007 outside of the Leafs, so I shouldn't say number one. But I just wanted to say, go TFC, go! Can't wait to see a game from our season tickets in Section 222. We'll see you back in the chat. I want to see those chants going loud for TFC.
And then slot it home. Very good recognition. That's exactly what you do and what you're taught in those moments. You don't complicate it. You just take exactly what the defense gives you, and then you can celebrate to the corner all day. But again, what Toronto was able to do is they were able to also take what the defense gave them. What you're taught from wide areas, Josh, is to just put the ball in a very dangerous position. Wingo understands that. Kim doesn't get it right. Herrera is surprised and doesn't really understand what to do with it there. And then the captain does the absolute rest. Jonathan Osorio gets his 49th here. Why he's so important to TFC is because throughout their history, he's delivered moments when they're very difficult to find.
There was still one more goal, and this is pretty much DC United to a T. Long ball over the top, and then find Benteke.
Yeah, but you got to give credit to Merle. He puts it up exactly where it needs to go, and then Christian Benteke, he's always going to do the rest of the work here. But watch this little peek up. He sees exactly where Christian Benteke is, and this is why, for me, Merle does even better than the finish. That little peek right there shows its intention, and then he delivers it to the absolute nines. Christian Benteke, if he's high-stepping, putting on his coat into the corner, it's trouble for you throughout 2025, so you need to make sure you get touch tight when you're marking the Belgian striker.
The halftime stats, it's been a pretty even game overall. What sticks out to you from this first half?
For me, what's sticking out is, you know, the ability to make sure that your possession is getting yourself into goal-scoring opportunities, and that's what we're seeing from DC. They're just edging Toronto a little bit in possession, but they're also finding the back of the net just a little bit more. What I like is that they are multifaceted in the goals that they're scoring. One through the run of play, and then one over the top, and then the cross into Christian Benteke. That's what they can do to kill you.
An unlikely goal scorer in Boris Enau, his first MLS goal. It's 2-1 to DC at the break.
We about to level up. I never see, got the bands in the back, all eyes on me. I'm too fast, got hot speed, that's supersonic, I never see, got the bands in the back, all eyes on me. We about to level up.
The next icon of vacations, Star of the Seas. Book today.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your outfit first before meeting your girlfriend's family. Yeah, checking first is smart. Yeah. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
Welcome back to the Audi Halftime Report. Everybody trying to stay warm tonight here in Washington, D.C., but a fun one to bring the whole family out for match day one in Major League Soccer here in 2025. Scores from around the league. How about in Columbus, a 5-goal first half? We thought we had some fun here. I think they're having some fun in Columbus.
Oh, yeah. Greg Berhalter says we can score some goals, too, but Wilfred Nancy says, hey, you're going to have to score more, because when Columbus is at home, one thing that they've proven over the last few seasons is that they can score a multitude of goals to put some pressure on you.
How about Inter Miami and New York City at 1-1? And then games coming up later on tonight and into tomorrow with Sunday Night Soccer.
Oh, yeah. Look at, that Nashville and New England joint there, because for me, Caleb Porter's side is looking very, very fresh and revamped. What are they going to be able to do on the road? Houston looks good too in their roster construction as well, but that nightcap, LA and San Diego, is what a lot of people are going to be focusing on.
That'll be tomorrow for Sunday Night Soccer. The top performance is presented by Audi. How about the number 6, the hard worker Boris Enau? He's been all over the place.
Yeah, he's been very good, and it's not just the goal here. His ability to make sure that he's protecting the back line line has been very good. But you take what the defense gives you, and again, you can celebrate to the corner. Look at the repress for DC United. Look at the repress that is led by Enau. This is exactly why he was brought in the summer, to make sure that his energy is always on point, and then the rest of the midfield and then the back line as well, when need be, can follow suit.
This is Major League Performance. This is Audi, official automotive partner of Major League Soccer. Boris Enau has been all over the place tonight.
Oh yeah, who said soccer players aren't fit and can't run like marathon runners? I would never argue that point, because Boris Enau covers 3.7 miles in just 45 minutes. There's a lot of game to play, but he looks very energetic. The dark spots on that middle to the right-hand side show that that's the part of Troy Lesesne's midfield that is very difficult to play through. That's why Toronto's gone to their right-hand side.
We are at the break here in match 1 of 2025. Second half from DC is next.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Come seek the Royal Caribbean.
AT&T has a new guarantee, because most things in life are not guaranteed. Like booking the right rental car. Where's the rest of it?
Did you forget we had kids?
A friendly game staying friendly. Yo, chill, Granny.
It's a bank loan.
Or being alone during alone time. Yeah, that's not guaranteed. You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, the deals you want, and the service you deserve. Or we'll make it right. That's the AT&T guarantee.
Welcome to this year's championship game. This is the big one.
With Amex Gold, you can score 4 times points on restaurants around the world. So you can raise the bar on game night. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Welcome to Washington, D.C. This broadcast of MLS on Apple TV is presented by T-Mobile. The National Mall just a few minutes away from here at Audi Field, all lit up on this clear but cold night in the district as we are almost set for the second half. DC and Toronto clashing on match day 1 of Major League Soccer's 30th season. A lot of goals in that first half, which means the supporter cam is brought to you by Lowe's. Visit Lowe's for the ultimate assist on your next project. We got drink showers of any beverage over there, but they've had a lot to celebrate in that first half.
Oh, it's lit. Anytime you have fans taking off their shirts, beers flying everywhere, an absolute elation on match day 1, that's exactly what you want in your home confines. What Troy Lesesne and his side are going to look to do is to take all of that good energy from their fans and put that into a very complete second half, because best believe Toronto is going to come out of the locker room with a lot of energy, and they're not going to give up.
Those drinks are expensive, but I guess they're being put to good use, right, Jalil?
Hey, that's very good use for me. And as a player, if you can hit the back of the net and see all the drinks wasted, that's exactly what you want, because those are feelings that you just don't forget as a player, and especially for Boris E now, because he put a lot of hard work into getting himself to this point in his career where he comes over in the summer, has a pretty solid run up to a 2025 preseason under his belt, then you hit the ground running after scoring in the first half of your first match in your second season with the club.
Here we go, second half of match one with Jalil Anibaba. I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us here on MLS Season Pass from Washington, D.C. An entertaining first half. We're hoping for more of the same as Cervenia tries to rip this one. You know, he's itching to find a goal against his old team.
Oh, of course. You always want to show out against your old team. And like I said, in the second half, if Brandon Cervenia is able to have a lot of energy into the tank, he can also chip in and be a game changer as well. What I liked about what DC was able to do toward the later part of the first half is they were able to calm the game down, and he didn't have to cover as much ground. So you would like to think that he has a lot of energy coming out of the locker room.
You played against former teams that you played for. Is there that extra juice going into that game?
Absolutely. Absolutely there's extra juice, because as a professional athlete, the one thing that you've been able to do throughout the course of your life is prove people wrong. Whenever they doubt you, you love that challenge. So the fact that Brandon Cervenia is able to start in his first match for his new club against his former club, that's extra jet fuel in the motivation of a player.
That's what Toronto's trying to do as well. Prove some of those doubters wrong as they come into the attack to start this second half. Cross lifted in, rolls up to meet it for DC. Now Davy Flores and Coelho. Plenty of space for Henry Wingo on the near side. Bernardeschi running at this back line. Slides it in field. Larea had made the run forward. Benteke goes down, and there will be a whistle. That's against Kevin Long, who remembers already on a yellow card. We can't have too much of a conversation here with the official, because there's the new only the captain legislation where the captain has to come up and talk to the ref.
Yeah, Kevin Long is very experienced. He knows exactly how to toe that line. That's definitely a foul. I like Boyko again is showing his experience, because I think, you know, maybe younger referees who aren't comfortable with MLS, or they're getting their nerves out, may have brandished another yellow card, and then Toronto's in a very precarious situation. But I like the fact that he's allowing Kevin Long to play himself through this second half, even though he's already on a yellow.
Just finishing up that thought about only the captain. A yellow card can be shown if there's too much crowding around the referee, and I'm sure early in this season the players no doubt have learned about this new legislation. Now they need to implement it on the field. We'll see how it goes here in these early few weeks of the season.
Yeah, and the league has been working toward that legislation for years now, because
here's Henry Wingo coming in. It's a corner kick conceded for Toronto.
Yeah, well done from Bartlett to make sure he's in a good spot, but that's exactly what you want if you are Robin Fraser. Wingo getting forward again in an advanced position at the bottom of your screen. This is exactly how they scored the goal in the first half, to get him in areas where he knows exactly where to put the ball. But again, Bartlett does a very good job.
Bernardeschi standing over the corner kick. Plenty of crowding around the goal, and now the referee, Sergi Boyko, coming in to break a little bit of it up. Sixth corner kick of the game, played back post. Kim has to knock it away. A teasing ball there from the corner from Bernardeschi, as it's floated his way again. Set to deliver. Back post, saved! Kim bats it out. Davy Flores flying in there for Toronto.
Yeah, that's good stuff there from Toronto, and it's also very well done from Kim. This is what you want from both sides of the line. Bernardeschi getting in on his left foot and then putting in a peach of a service there. He's looking for Davy Flores. The diving header is exactly what you have to go for there, because the service is dipping down behind the defense, and if you try to go with your foot, you're not going to be able to get the trajectory on it. Very well done from both Davy Flores and Bernardeschi, but even better from Kim.
Johnson has to step in there as Benteke was making the long run forward, and it's a throw-in for DC as they win possession. We saw in our halftime stats, the expected goals was a little bit higher for Toronto. They've created maybe a little bit more, and Bernardeschi, when he's delivering like that, good things are going to happen.
Absolutely, Josh. That's what you want to do, and of course, if you're a player that's down there in white, you're going to want to feed the well.
As it comes into the box, another easy take by Sean Johnson. Larea found from behind, Boris Enau.
And Larea wants a yellow card there. He's arguing with Boyko, saying that we were in an advanced moment. I was going to play it forward, and we were going to be on a potential counterattack, but I agree with Boyko there. That's a foul nonetheless, but not a yellow card.
This comes through for Benteke, who goes down, play on, Pirani into the box. The ball trickles past the end line, it's a corner kick. Benteke still down, Pirani as well.
Well, this is a little bit of a broken play there here. A clearance that just has a fortuitous bounce that lands to Benteke, and then there's a foul where it looks like it's long that just clatters through Benteke, and then Pirani gets on the end of it. Again, Boyko does a very good job to let this play, that's Rosted rather, comes through Benteke. This is definitely a foul. As a defender, what you're trying to do is just make sure you stop the play. You're going for the ball, but if you get man as well, you're okay with it. I would be curious to see if there's going to be a yellow card when it's brought back.
Play is being stopped here by our VAR tonight, Michael Ratchuk. This could be a potential denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Benteke was running in, and Rosted kind of came in from behind. This will be an interesting one from our VAR, Michael Ratchuk, who is taking a look at this.
Yeah, Rosted definitely came through and clattered Benteke. Like I said, again, as a defender, when you're in this position, what you're looking to do is you're going for the ball, but if you get man as well, what you're looking for is to just make sure you have a strong tackle so Christian Benteke can't carry on his run.
So they were checking a few things there for Doxo and penalty. There's neither, so it's going to be, it was pointed to a corner kick initially. This might be all changing though. Looks to be a goal kick on the way.
And much to the chagrin of the DC United home fans, I agree with this. I think this is good refereeing here. What Boyko was looking for was the ability to have advantage naturally run through, because after Christian Benteke was clattered, the play ran naturally where Pirani was on the end of it, and if he was able to get hold of the ball, he would have probably been able to find the back of the net. That's good refereeing, and overall, just an awkward play in general.
Toronto on the move again. Bernardeschi in space. Schnegg there defensively. Bernardeschi running forward. The centering pass runs all the way through. Chance to turn and shoot. Big save, Kim! That's what he was brought in to do. And it keeps it 2-1.
Oh, you got that right. This is exactly why the youth South Korean international has been brought in here. He's been excellent in preseason and worked his way into this game. But you can see there's just a little bit of awkwardness. Osorio is upset because he wants that clear run-up to just strike through it with his left. Because Samanchich is in his way, he has to kind of wait for it to roll 2 more inches toward his left foot, and he can't really get that quick snap at it naturally. But you got to give Kim a lot of credit because he shuffles over, protects his near post, but also puts him in a space where he can make the save, whether it goes near post, or excuse me, middle of the goal or far post. Very good goalkeeping, but TFC is heating up, that's for sure.
That's twice now Simermencic has taken away a potential opportunity from, it was Osorio there, it was Corbianu in the first half. Something to take note of.
Yeah, just working his way into things, Simermencic, in terms of understanding exactly where he needs to be in those crucial attacking moments here. But I like what he's been able to do. His youthful exuberance has showed. He's gotten up and down that left-hand side. And one thing when you talk to the players and the people throughout the organization, what you're going to get from Simermencic is a lot of hard work and the mental fortitude to make sure that he's trying to execute everything tactically that Robin Fraser wants of him.
Aaron Herrera Herrera standing over the set piece now for DC United. Driven ball in. Straight out of play. Trying to connect with Benteke. Just 77 days after hoisting their record 6th MLS Cup, the LA Galaxy are back on home soil, only this time against a brand new neighbor and foe. Expansion club San Diego will look to knock the Galaxy off their perch on their historic night. The inaugural edition of Sunday Night Soccer has you covered with Kalen Kyle and the guys kicking off coverage of LA Galaxy San Diego FC at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Toronto right back on the front foot, trying to find another equalizer in this game. Found the way for the ball as Coelho went to pass that. It's a free kick to Toronto.
What Toronto wanted was the advantage there. That's why Richie Larea is having words with Boyko, because they were in on the attack. That little scoop play over the foot of the defender. Watch here at the bottom of your screen. That's a good first touch, and then an even better one from Richie Larea. And Brandon Cervena kind of fell asleep a little bit, and he wanted to charge forward in the Canadian international Richie Larea. That's why he's got hands and heads right there.
Bernardeschi set to deliver.
Great
Swings it in. There's a whistle before the ball even arrived, and it's because the flag is up. Frazier was hired just 6 weeks ago for Toronto FC. As we look at the offside again, it looked like Osorio trying to almost set a screen there in the middle. Or pardon me, Corbiano.
Yeah, Corbiano affects the play there. He doesn't touch the ball, but the reason why he's offside and the infraction goes in the favor of DC United is because he affects the play, trying to screen off players where the likes of Osorio and Quaishu could have charged forward. Very good refereeing as well.
Here's Kajima. Now Enau. DC slowing it down as they come into the attack. Trying to turn the corner. The ball runs out of play, and it's a goal kick. Talking about Robin Fraser, he hasn't had a whole lot of time in charge. He was hired just 6 weeks ago. That was basically right before preseason started. He says his head is kind of still spinning right now. It was 5 to 6 weeks of basically playing catch up, but he says now everything seems to be calming down. When you have games, that's kind of all you focus on. Yeah,
and one of the most important things from a player's perspective that he told us is that this week of training leading up to match day 1 was the best week of training that they've had, including preseason, and that's exactly what you want. You want your team to be gelling as you go into the first game of the season and the first week. Of course, it's not going to be perfect or a finished product because most players haven't even played a full 90 minutes yet, but you want things to be trending upward, and that's exactly what Robert Fraser got in this week of training. Let's see if it's going to be able to produce their ability to get back into this match and get a result.
Christian Benteke and DC United get back to MLS action next weekend when they travel to face Jonathan Bamba and the Chicago Fire. That match kicks off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here on MLS Season Pass. DC United has won 4 straight season opening matches, including a 3-2 win against Toronto here 2 years ago. LAFC are the only team with a longer season opening win streak. That was 7 going into today, and then they beat Minnesota United 1-0 in the season opening match to extend that streak to 8. DC United trying to extend their streak as well. It's got to be nice. Start the season with 3 points.
That's the task.
And then just get it rolling.
That's the task. Every team is looking you know, desperately to get their first win, and you want to do it as quick as you can. Of course, if it comes in the first week, that's ideal for you, and you're trying to keep good rhythm. But one thing about MLS is that it is definitely a marathon and not a sprint, so you have to make sure that, okay, if you don't get what you want out of week one, you have to be very effective in analyzing that and making sure that you don't get yourself into a hole in the first 1/3 mark of the season.
Foul in the middle and a yellow card. Sigurd Rosted into the book.
Now you have two of the three center backs for Toronto in the book. And what DC has done at times is they've gone route one to try to expose the the Toronto back line, and it's worked here. This is very well done from Pirani. He's definitely smaller than Rosted, but that's good hold-up play and puts the central defender in a precarious situation. He drags him down, yellow card all day, every day, because it stops a potential counterattacking moment, rather.
Teke taking off the ball. Toronto trying to go quick. Corbianu steps over a challenge, goes for the shot, or was it across to the back post? Regardless, it's out of play. Osorio was making that back post run.
Yeah, a little broken play there. I like that TFC is able to step their lines, pick up the ball, and then turn it into a goal-scoring opportunity. Osorio's lurking on the back post. This looks like a shot, though, going toward that back post. Osorio can't get to it because it's not meant for him at the end of the day. The frustration on his face comes because he wanted probably a little bit of a culture ball faded to that back post that he could just run onto.
Wingo battling with Jose Kajima. That was right in front of the fourth official and Troy Lassane. It's going DC's way. Substitution on the way. It's the end of the night for Henry Wingo. It'll be Raul Petretta to enter.
In many ways, like for like here. But what I'm going to be very interested to see is if the formation changes, if the tactics change as well, because now you have Rosted coming over on this right-hand side, Petretta going in over on that left next to Long. Do they still stay with three in the back, or does it shift to four?
Kajima trying to feed Benteke. Ina wins that battle. Shot blocked immediately. Still available. Kajima chasing after it. Kajima goes to ground. Now Bernardeschi for Toronto. He goes down. Will there be anything more? It's just a free kick to Toronto. The Matchday live scores are presented by AT&T. How about New York City on top of Miami by 2-1 at this moment? Corbianu cutting it in. Corbianu still trying to get it onto his right foot, deflected, and then out of play. David Schnegg, we highlighted him earlier and just his work rate getting up and down this left side for DC. And a nice defensive play there.
Yeah, and he's been more measured in this second half. What I like is that you can see Schnegg at the bottom of your screen. He's in the right defensive position, making sure that he backs down Corbianu, but right when he gets in and around that 18-yard box, he knows he's got to step. Because if you allow Corbianu to get into the 18-yard box, it's very difficult for you to make a challenge because you're worried about giving up a penalty. That's good defending for Schnegg, and you want to be able to say that consistently if you're a DC United fan, because he needs to stay home when Herrera goes forward to keep the integrity of the back line. He's done that much better in the second half.
No surprise that this game has maybe slowed down just a little bit from the frantic pace we saw in the first half, where it was up and down. Just the one sub so far from Toronto. goes to ground. Big step there by Rosted. He went to ground again, as now Kojima's in space. Pirani went for the curling effort. It was blocked. Still a chance here for DC. Now it's in the hands of Sean Johnson. Coelho through the middle for Toronto. Moved out to that left side. Toronto trying to find another equalizer to the top of the area. Coelho. Pass well off the mark and out of play. Week 1, just 1 sub so far. Obviously, everybody not quite at full fitness yet, but you as a former player, what's your mindset going into week 1, trying to get through 90 minutes?
Well, typically you're trusting in the process, because throughout preseason, what the task is to build everybody up to that 90-minute threshold. And oftentimes, maybe the last preseason game, you'll play like 85 minutes for most of the players. So for a lot of the players down on their pitch, this is the first time that they've gotten to maybe 90 minutes if they go the distance here. But you're able to do it, and you just know, okay, once we get in the last 5 minutes of the game here, you rely on all the hard work you've done in preseason because you're ready for it.
It's DC United, hell of a free kick here. They went down to Florida, got some warm weather preseason. It was Toronto that went across the pond, Marbella. Pretty nice this time of year, I've heard.
Marbella is amazing. I've had a preseason stint as well when I was with New England in 2019, I believe. So when we went to Marbella, it's an amazing place. But Toronto was also down in Palm Beach as well. So, you know, having the ability to go abroad and then come back into somewhat more familiar confines when you're in Palm Beach is very good to get the team gelling in the right way. And when you talk about amazing weather, Marbella and Palm Beach doesn't get better than those two options there.
Toronto on the move again. Slipped upfield. Enow right on the hip of Bernardeschi as the cross taken at the near post by Kim.
Enow's been excellent. Everywhere he's needed to be on the defensive side of the ball, he's right there, making sure his primary responsibilities are taken care of. And then when it's a time for him to come alive in the attacking third and or be that facilitator through the middle third, he's been excellent as well. For me, he's been the player of the match.
So main is the intro, backup is the outro. Okay, just the main. First time here. DC slowing it down, also preparing a couple of subs. This game might change just a little bit going into the final quarter of this game. Floated forward, Rosted was pulled down. Toronto want to go quick with it here. Coelho. Bernardeschi gets it right back. Trying to get the return ball. Oh, it's a penalty! Larea went down and a point to the spot. Doesn't always have to be an attacking move. Just a foul you might see in the middle of the field happens to be in the box, and that's a penalty.
This is a certain game-changing moment here. Just the 69th minute of this match. Richie Larea and Bernardeschi are excellent at combining up the right-hand side. Boyko points straight to the spot. Brandon Cervania is just looking for that little poke tackle, and the timing is just a little bit off where Richie Larea is able to get there first, and then the bottom of Brandon Cervania's boot just catches Richie Larea ever so slightly. The check is on right now to see if the contact is enough for a penalty. On the eye test, to me, it looked like a penalty, but we're going to see what the VAR team and Boyko decide.
The penalty is confirmed. It is a point to the spot, and now Toronto a chance to equalize. They go to the spot. They were just 6 of 12 from the penalty spot last year. 50% trying to start 1 of 1 with Bernardeschi against Kim. Right in front of the DC supporters. Referee needs the ball on the spot. Bernardeschi resets. Bernardeschi against Kim. Bernardeschi scores! Silencing Audi Field, 2-2.
There's a lot to talk about here with this game here, because I can guarantee you one thing. With 20 minutes left in this game, there's a lot to play for. Richie Larea draws the penalty kick, a very unfortunate one for Brandon Cervania. But when you have a leader in Bernardeschi, you trust him with these moments. He steps up and makes no mistake. Gets his 22nd goal as a career in TFC. Excellent. He wrong foots Kim and then finds the back of the net. You can see what it means to him here. And what I love from his mentality is that it's been on point starting the 2024 season last year, and he has done excellently to show that he is ready to make sure that he is that leader again that is delivering difficult moments for Robin Fraser in 2025.
17 who came out. 2 subs for DC United after the goal. Randall Leal and Derek Dodson both making DC United debuts here tonight. And Jaleel, 20 minutes to go. It's a brand new game at 2-2.
It really is a brand new game. And when we talk about Randall Leal, what he was brought in to do in this offseason is to help out in the goal contributions alongside of Christian Benteke. He'll stay high and maybe even play as a second striker. What his natural position in is a 10. So look for him to create, get on the ball, and try to facilitate goal-scoring opportunities for Christian Benteke and himself. He can also let loose from deep as well. So the Toronto FC defense is going to need to step deep if the Costa Rican gets on the ball anywhere in the attacking third.
17 goals, 21 assists, and 117 appearances playing for Nashville from 2020 to 2024 for Leal. For Derek Dodson, his first season with DC, he's been in with MLS teams including Minnesota and Orlando, but has spent a lot of time on loan in the second division USL Championship. Another foul here, and the crowd here at Audi Field getting a little bit restless now.
You can see Davy Flores just looking to switch the point of attack, and that is Boricino, who has been singing his praises all night. Just gets the timing of that one a little bit wrong. No malicious intent in it. That's why you're seeing Flores just hop back up, but it's definitely a foul because he's thrown off balance when he's trying to switch that point of attack just a little bit too aggressive from Eno.
Chance to deliver now from the set piece. This is overhead, bouncing out of play. DC trying to retake the lead for a third time tonight. Scored the first and the third goals in this game.
Yeah, this is really anyone's game at this point in time. What we were talking about when Rosted switched over to this right-hand side is how tactically it's going to play out.
Schnee getting tangled up with Maria, nothing doing. And now here comes Toronto again through the middle. Osorio couldn't connect with Bernardeschi. Coelho and Toronto have it back. Petretta.
So again, Josh, since Petretta's come into the game where he's shifted over to that left center back next to Long, and Rosted switched over to the right-hand side and playing in that 3. I wonder what Robin Fraser saw here to make sure that he switched that up, because it's paid dividends for them.
Larea trying to just place it into the path of Bernardeschi. Made a different run. The heat map is presented by IHG, 19 brands, 6,000 destinations. Download the app today. Brandon Cervania against his former team. You said how fired up he would be. Well, he's been all over the place.
Yeah, he really has been. He's been up for the challenge, covering a lot of ground, making sure that he's in the defensive spots to be able to challenge for the balls. A little bit too overzealous in the challenge where Richie Larea just lures him into making that challenge that results into a penalty kick. But other than that, he's had a very good game. Now, as a player, when you give up a penalty in that fashion, you were looking for that moment to right that wrong. So can Brandon Cervania continue to keep himself in having a good performance by doing something crucial on the other side of the ball to either manufacture or score a goal himself?
Bernardeschi, he's on the score sheet in 2025 after converting that penalty. We probably expected at least a couple of goals in this game, 4 total, but still, where do you think we could go from here? 15 minutes to go.
Oh, I definitely think there are more goals in this game here because you can see the way that Toronto is going about this. They have a very measured approach, but they're still looking and sniffing out moments where they can try to find themselves behind the back line of DC United as such.
Larea, Bernardeschi cuts it right through the middle, not on the same page as Corbiano. Bernardeschi is telling him, yeah, you gotta make that run.
Yeah, Corbiano and Bernardeschi have not been on the same page all game here. And that's something that when they go back and they look at film throughout the course of the week, they're going to try to get those intricate movements down where they can seamlessly play together in that attacking third because it's looked disjointed. The way that Toronto has found themselves on the score sheet twice is through good progression play on the right-hand side. But you always don't want to have to rely on just getting up through the right-hand or the left-hand side. You want to be able to be intricate in your attack through the middle as well, and that's where Bernardeschi's been frustrated.
Up over the top. Ball played on the surface, in for Benteke, who tries to hold play up. It was cleared away. Long and Rosted both in there on Benteke. Bernardeschi turns away from trouble and rolls, and now streaming forward. Options in the middle. Bernardeschi. It was deflected as it came through. Kim keeps it in play. A lot of hard work there by Bernardeschi. Hands on knees now as play continues. You still wonder what this Toronto team will look like with Ola Brynhildsen, the new number 9 that was signed, coming in on loan from Denmark. How much of an impact could he make within this team, being more of a true number 9 maybe than Corbiano?
And that's also what the task is in match day 1. You're typically going into things where your roster isn't quite complete. We need a few more players that are either on the roster but haven't been able to get themselves match fit. And what does it look like when they get through the door? That's a situation on both sides of the line. Davy Flores with the overzealous challenge around Leal finds himself in Sergio Boyko's book. But if you are Robin Fraser, you have no problem with that tackle there, because one thing that Davy Flores is going to do is he's going to make it very difficult for you to just play and waltz through the midfield. Look at here. He tracks Randall Leal's run and then puts in a stiff challenge. It's definitely a foul and definitely a yellow card because DC United is charging forward and has numbers forward. But Davy Flores, at the end of the day, yes, he'll be frustrated, but he'll understand why he goes in the back of the book, or goes into the book, and won't care at all.
Front page, back page, it don't matter. He's in the book.
I'd rather be on the front page myself, but
both teams set to make attack-minded substitutions here momentarily. But first, Kajima trying to play it through for Benteke. Corbiano coming forward to the end line. Kick save by Kim. Out for a corner kick. Toronto keeping that pressure on.
Again, Toronto is looking like they understand how to manufacture goals better than DC in the second half. This is good play again through the right-hand side, but Kim holds his near post. It's exactly what you're supposed to do as a goalkeeper. Make sure that the near post is unavailable, but then can you protect the middle or the cutback as well? Very well done. Bashi's coming into this game. Can he manufacture goals as well? Kerr can score goals on the other side of the line, so you can see both managers with their message saying, we're both going for this one.
Theo Corbianu is coming out for Toronto. Coming out of the game for DC is Brandon Cervania. Kerr more of a natural number 9. Baji, another kind of point forward, if you will, up there. A striker that is going to try to score a goal to win this game. But first, with 10 minutes to go, it's a corner kick for Toronto. Towards the near post, comes all the way through, is right in front. And this will go back the other way. Osorio was standing right next to Kim, basically right on the line. What do those subs tell you from both these managers?
It tells me that neither of them are happy splitting points. They want all 3 points, and they're showing that they're going after it. Whenever managers put in a striker, with 10 minutes left into the game, they want to score a goal. They want to be able to say that at the end of the day, whatever happened throughout 80 minutes, we're going for it. And I like that. I like that aggressive posture from both managers. Selfishly, because as a broadcaster, it makes for interesting prospects. But at the end of the day, what both teams have shown throughout 2024 is they can score goals late.
When these teams met here last year on June 1st, 2-2. Toronto led 2-0 for most of the game. Ted Di-Pietro scored in the 79th minute. A penalty by Mateusz Klich in the 90+5 minute. And then it finished 2-2. 2 red cards for Toronto in that game as well. Let's see if we get some fireworks late here once again. Here's Leal. Trying to get the return ball from Dotson. Out of play. Throw-in. Floated forward. Another header clear. Taken down by Leal. DC, long spell of possession. Again, trying to break lines. Baji trying to get away from Petretta. Runs out of play. Throw in Derek Dotson. And let this go now for Aaron Herrera. Now trying for the quick ball through the middle. Now turned over. Kerr.
It's well done from Bartlett. Well done.
Here's Kajima and Leal. There's Flores right on his hip. These two have gone together on the international stage as well. Flores, Honduran international, Leal for Costa Rica. Great first touch by Baji. Turns it infield. Benteke gets it right back from Leal. Benteke delivers out wide. Options to pick out in the middle. Move down the line. Herrera stands it up. Diving header away. Kajima. Benteke trying to for the curling effort on the turn and out of play.
This is very good stuff here from DC. The patience. They have a lot of numbers in the 18-yard box. A little bit of broken play, but Kojima recognizes that you need to get the ball to Christian Benteke. Even though it doesn't find the back of the net or threaten an on-target strike there, you need Christian Benteke to be very comfortable in getting touches and strikes on goal late in the game here, because there is so much time still left to be had. Yes, there's only about 5 or so minutes in regulation, but what does stoppage time look like with the multitude of goals, stoppages, and substitutions here? There will be ample opportunities to get yourself 3 points as far as a goal is concerned, but you have to get your star players touches.
Larea, Kerr's making the run forward. Larea still tries to cut it back. Larea still in possession. Lays it off. Coelho locked down. It's Toronto's turn to keep the ball. 5 minutes to go. Raya goes down away from the ball. All of a sudden, Toronto turn all the way back to Sean Johnson, who's forced to go long. And the flag is up for offside. This exclusive NetCam replay is brought to you by T-Mobile, and Kim showing us what he's got in his DC debut.
The reason why this is a good save is because he holds his near post. A lot of goalkeepers who are of lesser caliber would shift over, maybe cheat a little bit too earlier, and then you see an attacker just pick his head up and either go through his legs or near post. Very well done from Kim.
Leal trying to serve a ball in. It was blocked down. Toronto trying to find a way out. A risky back pass. Bernardeschi wins the throw in for his side. Taking that ball out in the middle. Leal felt the pressure from behind. Free kick DC. Schnegg.
Skill check, huh?
How about that? Leal. Final few minutes of regular time. Still locked at 2. DC has held 2 leads in this game. Toronto has equalized twice. Two teams that just missed out on the playoffs in 2024, both trying to end lengthy playoff droughts. 3 points in match 1 could go a long way come October and decision day.
You never know.
A long time from now.
Yeah, but to your point, Josh, you never know where you're going to look back in the season and say, man, if we could have just gotten 3 points here, or man, if we could have just gotten the result for, you know, maybe a lapse of concentration toward the end of the game. That's why these final minutes are extremely crucial. The substitutes are going to have more energy in the tank, but everybody is going to look to throw the kitchen sink at it when they have the opportunity to do so.
Here's Rolls. Now Schnegg in for Leal. The return ball. Schnegg able to turn the corner. Fires the cross in. Johnson there to parry it out. Trying to drive that ball in. It was blocked down. Herrera against Simermancic. Cut in field. Now trying to play hold up in the middle. The back heel for Baji. Shouts for penalty, but out of play.
Good stuff at the bottom of your screen. This combination is exactly what Randall Leal can do. A little thigh off and then the back outside of the foot pass there. Very well done from Schnegg to look for that early option. Sean Johnson shows his experience there to be in good position to be able to punch that ball away. Good from DC United, but again, they're still not able to really threaten the back of the net because Toronto's done an excellent job defensively as this game has gone on to make sure that they have numbers behind the ball, and the defending three are very resolute in their positioning.
6 minutes of stoppage time. The same fixture last year went to double-digit minutes of stoppage time, so it may not be done quite yet.
Yeah, like I said, Josh, there's going to be a lot to play for here. And as you get closer and closer toward that last minute of stoppage time, angst can go up because you feel if you're on the defensive side, there's a few more chances you got to defend. And on the flip, when you're attacking, you know, okay, if we just push a little bit more, maybe we can get a reward.
Now it's been DC with some of that forward momentum. Rolls, floats it forward. The centering header. Johnson is there. The match momentum is presented by Old Spice. The back and forth we've got in this game.
Yeah, and you can see there just from the momentum, it's been ebbing and flowing up and down, very even. There have been times where DC has been in control, and then just when you think they're going to run away with things, Toronto has done a very good job to take control of momentum as well. A very even game.
There was a foul, and a yellow card is coming out for Kai Rolls. DC center back in the book.
Yeah, just again looking to be very direct TFC. That's not what they've relied on throughout the course of this game. And Jonathan Osorio has been collateral damage to a few tackles here tonight. Rolls goes into the book here because, like a lot of the yellow cards tonight, they prevented potential counter-attacking moments. So that's exactly why he's going into the book. But at the end of the day, he doesn't care. He would rather prevent that momentum as opposed to letting it carry on to prevent himself from going into the book.
Bernardeschi ready to deliver for Toronto. Floated all the way to the far side, knotted back centrally now. Davy Flores, a bit wasteful there, sends it into the supporters. Two and a half minutes gone of the minimum of 6. Play in behind to Bernardeschi. Schnegg had it read. Schnegg trying to play in behind. Baji shoulder to shoulder with Rosted. It goes back the other way to Toronto. This is interesting. Rosted goes down. We'll see it again here.
Yeah, this is what you're supposed to do in this moment. Try to just bend it around into the channel to let Dominic Baji run onto it. Because the surface is dry, it doesn't skip forward into Dominic Baji's stride there. Rosted is in good position there, but the reason why he's able to make that play is because, again, the ball doesn't skip into Dominic Baji's stride. If it's a little bit wet or you have a situation where Schnegg puts a little bit more on that ball, Dominic Baji will be able to run into it. Rosted does a very good job, and he's looked much more poised as the shift has allowed him to come over on the right-hand side along as opposed to the left. So again, when Robin Fraser goes to look at the film, I think they'll be very happy about that little tactical adjustment there. And keep an eye out if you're a TFC fan to see if Rosted starts on that right-hand side next week as opposed to the left-hand side.
Sunday night after the final whistles, make sure you tune in for MLS Wrap-Up. Sasha Kleshton, Dax McCarty, and Bradley Wright-Phillips join Kevin Egan to bring you all the goals, all the moments, and analysis of every big story from the opening weekend in Major League Soccer. It all kicks off at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on MLS Season Pass. There was a yellow card handed out to Christian Benteke during that last stoppage. Might add a little bit more than the 6 minutes we thought we were going to get. And this will be a debut coming in just a moment for Toronto as Kerr comes into the corner. Kerr wins a throw-in deep in the attacking third, and now a stoppage for a substitution. A debut on the way for Toronto. The 21-year-old Zayn Monlouis, who was officially announced today as a signing from Arsenal. Coming on for Sigurd Rosted. Monlouis, who spent last season on loan at Reading. He did not make a first-team appearance, though, for Arsenal during his time with the club. Into the corner. Fight for this ball. And DC comes away with it initially. They turn it over. Here's Monlouis. Troy Lesesne has been very active in his technical area, asking for a few more whistles. I think he has gotten tonight. We're through the sixth. And that is full time. A hard-fought 2-2 draw tonight at Audi Field in DC. The points are shared in match day one.
They'll definitely feel like points dropped for Troy Lesesne and 1 point gained for Robin Fraser. The reason why is because I think Robin Fraser's side showed the ability to manage out the game a little bit better than DC United did. Of course, they were down 2 times, and they found ways to make sure that they stayed poised, found their moments, and earned a very crucial point on the road. Was it perfect for either side? Definitely not. But when you're in match day one, what you're looking for is the ability to have promise in your first performance. Again, that's something that both sides will be able to pick at, but what you're working toward is a complete performance, and neither side were quite on that mark.
This is the player of the match. Federico Bernardeschi scored the equalizing goal tonight at 2-2. He was dynamic tonight for Toronto.
Yeah, and for us, naming Bernardeschi the player to watch, this is going to be very well welcome selection for all TFC fans. What you need from him is to continue to deliver moments for you where he's getting points for your side. He was excellent in making sure that he really was the one that was the conduit to their attack. A lot of what they did through up the right-hand side was through him and Richie Larea, and then he picks the moment to convert the penalty kick that is very crucial. A good performance for number 10 in Bernardeschi.
Well, DC United, as you mentioned, might feel like this is a couple of points dropped. Hard fought, though, on both sides. If you're Troy Lesesne, what do you take away from a game like this?
Yeah, what you take away from it is you get into the film room and you really look at the moments in which you could have been cleaner on the ball that allowed Toronto to work themselves back into the game as far as momentum is concerned. You look back into the first half in times where they threw too many numbers forward after they went up 1-0, which also let Toronto back into the game. Not perfect, but not terrible.
We'll come back, wrap things up from DC 2-2 at full time.
What's on your mind, Dion?
My sensitive skin and how Old Spice Total Body isn't on it.
Gabby, is there anything you want to share?
Not this Old Spice deodorant. It's 24/7 freshness. It can go everywhere.
Everywhere.
Milo's Rewards is here. Join for free today to unlock member perks from the palm of your hand. With every purchase, all members earn points towards Milo's money. Get free gifts to bring home, member deals to get more projects done, and free standard shipping. Start earning for free with Milo's Rewards today.
Yeah, I know I'm really attracted.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you taking more time off or putting more time in. They could mean more peace and quiet or more fun and games. Ideas you can drive or that drive you. From settling in to living it up, what ideas will you bring to life? No more with RBC Wealth Management.
Este verano la Leagues Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36 clubes. En la primera fase, cada equipo jugará contra 3 equipos de la liga rival para determinar su posición en la fase de eliminación directa.
The 4 top-seeded clubs from each league will move on, ensuring interleague matchups all the way through the quarterfinals.
3 naciones, 2 ligas y un solo campeón. En Leagues Cup 2025,
it's dominance on the line.
Play for an ultra?
We playing for ultras? Brace you for an ultra?
Put an ultra on it. Don't forget, there's ultras on the line. Woo! I didn't.
Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Full time tonight from Audi Field in Washington, D.C. D.C. United 2, Toronto FC 2. A thrilling back and forth game. But in the end, the points are shared here in match day number 1. The match highlights are presented by the powerful backing of American Express. Match day 1, season number 30 of MLS, and it started off with a bang tonight in DC.
Yeah, and the powerful backing is coming from Morrissey now. He does an excellent job to make sure that he's looking. Should I play it off to Pirani? No, because the defense says you should take it yourself. But then to finish in this fashion, to get it past Sean Johnson is not an easy task here. He does excellently. You go low and hard across the grain. Very well done. He says, okay, all the fans that have doubted me, they can be quiet because right now I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that we start on the right foot. The press is on point for for Enau, but what I love from Toronto is the response. What you do when you're in a wide area, you put in a dangerous situation. Kim gets this one wrong, and Herrera is surprised by the fact that Kim doesn't get on the end of it. He tries to go for the backheel clearance, but you got to give Osorio a lot of credit being at the right place at the right time. Very well done from the captain to keep them into the game. And as this game gets continuously thick as far as the plot is concerned, you have the ability to get wide as a DC player. Merle understands. You put it up, and then Christian Benteke is going to do the rest. We've been seeing this for a few years on the spin. Lofted up. Yup. Bang. That's going to be a goal almost every single time for Christian Benteke. The fans go absolutely crazy. The flags are waving, and then there's beer flying everywhere. These are the scenes that you want to see out of the nation's capital in the first game here in the 30th season of the MLS on Season Pass on Apple TV. This is exactly what we want to see. And the plot, again, continues to stay very thick here. Is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? Brandon Raynor is going to say absolutely not, but he knows that he catches Richie Leroy. The Canadian international knows whenever there's that contact, you go down, and Bernadeschi says, I'm going to do the rest. Puts the team on his back, opens up his hips, wrong foots Kim, and then delivers 1 point on the road for his team. A very crucial point as well. When you talk about Robin Fraser, he'll be pleased about the fact that they leave the nation's capital with something in their back pocket, Josh.
Full-time stats, more of the ball for DC, but more of the shots go Toronto's way.
Yeah, they do. Toronto looked poised in the second half. That's why you're seeing your XG at 2.3 for them, because they sat back with their back three, protected Sean Johnson very, very well. DC didn't have much of the run of play in the second half. And what Toronto did very well is they picked their moments to release mainly on the right-hand side. Richie Leray did an excellent job to pick his moments as a wingback to connect with Bernadeschi, and they looked very dangerous. They could have found a moment or two to find themselves with all 3 points, but they'll settle for the one.
DC United, no shots on target in this second half. We caught up with Lucas Bartlett post-game.
All right, Lucas Bartlett, overall thoughts on the match? Obviously disappointing getting a 2-2 point, but how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game. Obviously, the conditions weren't ideal, but yeah, we gave up a couple tough goals, a PK and a soft one that we could have had a clearance on in the first half, and the team fought hard, and first game of the year. We'll take the point right now, but obviously at home we want to be dominant.
And then looking at the back line, there's a lot of new faces. You got Kai Rouse next to you, June behind you. How do you guys think you meshed, and what needs to be worked on for next week?
Yeah, I think it's a building process. Obviously, we have David Schnegg obviously still joined us. Only probably played 5 games last season too. So we're really gelling. June was incredible tonight. Made a lot of big time saves. Kai as well. And these guys are all leaders. So we're looking forward to it. It's a long season, 34 games. So yeah, we're gonna grow, and we'll learn from this, and hopefully pick up the pieces for next week.
And then looking ahead to next week, traveling to Chicago, what's the team's focus over the next 7 days to get there?
Yeah, Chicago's reloaded. New coach. Obviously, Greg's a great coach and proven leader. So they got a lot of talent in that team they just brought in. So we got to be ready for it. And away from home, if we can get 3 points, it'd be huge to start the season.
Thanks, Lucas.
Full time here from DC and Audi Field. The points are shared. The fans, though, they were loud, they were raucous. They made a rowdy atmosphere here at Audi Field. 2-2, the full-time score between DC United and Toronto FC. The same scoreline that we got when these teams faced off right here just last year. A lot to take out of this one here tonight. But if you're now on the Toronto side, obviously Robin Fraser comes in just 6 weeks ago. It'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward. 2-2 is our full-time score. We'll come back and wrap things up from DC after this.
Can we stop for food?
No, hay comida en la casa.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Oopsies. You go.
No, you go.
Oh.
Go for the handful.
Este verano la Leagues Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36 clubes. En la primera fase, cada equipo jugará contra 3 equipos de la liga rival para determinar su posición en la fase de eliminación directa.
The 4 top-seeded clubs from each league will move on, ensuring interleague matchups all the way through the quarterfinals.
3 naciones, 2 ligas y un solo campeón. En Leagues Cup 2025,
it's dominance on the line.
In 64, when everyone else tried to win on the straights, we won on the corners. Bending, swerving, blowing the bloody doors off. Floor it to your local mini dealer for unrivaled offers today.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you taking more time off or putting more time in. They could mean more peace and quiet or more fun and games. Ideas you can drive or that drive you. From settling in to living it up, what ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Ready? MLS is game on. Dolce? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends? On. Rivalries on.
Red Bull New York versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
With unprecedented access to players, coaches, and clubs on side, Major League Soccer reveals like never before the personalities that fuel the league. All episodes are now streaming on Apple TV+. Toronto, they were working that right side, and that was where Federico Bernardeschi was most tonight, that inverted winger.
Yeah, both of their goals come from production on the right-hand side. Being able to get up and down and challenge that left-hand side of Troy Lesesne's defense to get further and further pushed back into their 18-yard box is why they're able to find success. You see here, Bernardeschi, if he's able to back you into your 18-yard box, that's trouble for you here. Osorio wants this one back because he just couldn't quite get that snap left-footed chance at it. But again, very well done up the right-hand side. That's going to be the name of the game. When Robin Fraser goes back and looks at this game, what they're going to be doing is circling the multitude of moments where they were able to make sure that Troy Lesesne's defense was pushed back on their heels. Can you replicate that and also have more production on the left-hand side? That will keep the defenses that you go up against guessing.
That right side busy for Toronto, and I think a lot of teams can expect that to be the case as this season moves along at 63% of the attack coming down that right side. We'll come back and wrap things up for good from DC. 2-2 our full-time score.
Hola.
Maybe a different beer?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Okay, be right back.
Mr. Messi.
Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
And when you're with Amex Platinum, you never miss the next big moment. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Este verano la League's Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36
clubes. What's up, insiders? How we doing this evening? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto FC season opener of their MLS campaign in 2025. We head to DC, Washington, D.C. to take on DC United. It's going to be a tough match given the struggles that TFC is going to have this season, but we appreciate you being here. Thank you. Please hit that like button down below. Let's bring more Toronto Football Club fans into this amazing chat and community here on TSI. Mary and I would like to welcome you all. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it for every single Toronto FC game live this season. We're going to have a lot of fun here building a community around TFC. I started with TFC as my number one back in like 2007 outside of the Leafs, so I shouldn't say number one. But I just wanted to say, go TFC, go! Can't wait to see a game from our season tickets in Section 222. We'll see you back in the chat. I want to see those chants going loud for TFC.
Rivalry's on.
New York versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
History will be made tomorrow night when the inaugural edition of Sunday Night Soccer sees expansion club San Diego take to the pitch for a very first time visiting reigning MLS champions LA Galaxy.